It's now time for the Pony Cake Sports Podcast with your hosts, Josh Stevens, Tim Thompson, and Tom Schultz. Woo!
All right, we are still on break and talking still about how Mike overthought everything.
So it appears we're looking at the draft board, and it looks Mike had the pick right before you.
Yep.
Tim, what pick is that in the fifth round?
So in the fifth round, Mike had the opportunity to take Carlos Hyde, and he ends up trading that pick number 54 to Wags.
Traded the pick to Wags.
Wags takes Bob Woods.
He takes Bob's
Mike
Woods.
drops back to pick 60. Then Josh takes Carlos Hyde. Mike shits his britches. Jerry takes Penny. I take Goodwin. Brett takes Marvin Jones. Kevin takes Isaiah Crowell. Mike is up. Opportunity. Sony on the board. Kerryon Johnson on the board. Jamal Williams on the board. No. Mike trades back again.
And Mike can't be surprised that I went Jamal Williams there.
Yeah.
Josh, you've been on him this preseason,
Yeah.
so have I. I've liked the dude since he came to the NFL. I've liked the landing spot. So just assuming that I would take him there should have been done. And Mike, I guess, didn't assume that, and Mike got effed.
It made
Missed out on all
sense.
three and ends up with Chris, Mother Truck, and Carson. Even though I like Carson far more than you guys do. I don't hate it as much as you guys do, but
Do you have confidence that he'll be the lead dog in
Oh,
Seattle
God,
for
no.
all year, though?
No.
Or that he would be your
No.
best option as a running back, too?
he definitely was one of my first two choices out of the 5 running backs we just named.
Yeah.
But
All right, we're going to move on to
Jerry's team?
Josh's team, my team. So we'll start off with this.
my team has no name.
Why'd you change your name?
Because I did.
I like it.
I like Dirt
I
Dolphins.
told him he should have done that and then had a picture of Arya Stark. That would have been good.
So
I'll
my-
Photoshop your face into an Arya Stark picture. That's what I'm gonna do.
My quarterbacks, I drafted
Black
Cam
and white.
Newton, but I'm probably going to start Phillip Rivers this week. But I have Cam Newton / Phillip Rivers, CMC, Christian McCaffrey, Peyton Barber, Keenan Allen, Michael Thomas, Pierre Garçon, Cameron Brate, Carlos Hyde, Chargers defense, Harrison Butker. And on my bench, Geronimo Allison, Mark Andrews, Rashard Matthews, Alfred Morris, Latavius Murray, Cam Newton, Samaje Perine, Mike Gesicki.
Yeah, Josh, your pick sucked like normal, but I think you really made the most of it. Your keepers were fantastic. Christian McCaffrey, Keenan Allen, Michael Thomas, love those guys. You got Cam Newton, Pip Rivers. You can play the matchups there. Both quality options there. Don't think you really had to reach on either of them, so that's fantastic
Cam
value.
Newton I got in the 8th.
Yeah, so which shocks the hell out of me. Most, I believe he was the third or fourth quarterback going in most ADPs.
9th, sorry.
And then you got Peyton Barber starting running back for the Tampa Bay Bucks. We'll see how long that lasts. Tim does not believe it's going to last too long, but right now I'd feel comfortable with that. And same with Carlos Hyde. I think you got 3 clear startable running backs right there to fill your 2 running back spots and a flex spot. And getting Pierre Garçon as your wide receiver 3 is not too bad. We'll see what happens in San Francisco with Alfred Morris. I do like your team. There is some weakness. I think that's just because of your lack of draft capital. Not a big fan of your backup tight ends with Mark Andrew and Mike Gesicki. I think Cameron Brate's kind of weak as well. You got 3 right now, which is probably the most in the league. But P. Ryan has a chance to start. Latavius Murray, getting him to the backup to Dalvin Cook's good as well. I like your squad, though.
I love your wide receivers, which if I didn't, I'd be stupid. I am a little bit worried about your running backs, in all honesty. I don't think Peyton Barber has the ability to hold that number 1 spot throughout the season, whether it be because someone else comes and tries to take it or because health issues, whatever it may be. Carlos Hyde, kind of the same thing. He's been great. I've been proven wrong before. Maybe he ends up being your running back too. And then Christian McCaffrey, I don't think has been talked about enough. I get the Panthers will do a lot of different things, but they lost their starting left tackle for the entire season. So how that plays out is
Hopefully a lot of check down passes.
and very it could benefit him. You're absolutely right, but it just there should be some sort of it's worth being mentioned. So actually, to Tom's point, I don't hate your team. I would love to come and bash your team right now.
It's better than I thought it would be.
With how terrible your draft picks were, this is the best you've done with your standard shitty draft picks. It is. It's good. You have some type of
I
Value.
was looking at the draft board, and the way some of these players felt to me, I was like, Cam Newton in the ninth round. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then with Peyton Barber kind of dropped a little bit. I got Carlos Hyde where I got him, which I felt comfortable taking him. I got the Chargers defense that late, gift from Jerry. Harrison Butker, my kicker.
Tell the story, because not everyone's heard it. Tell the story.
So I go up there to look to see who's left. I'm looking at the defensive
It's Jerry's
stickers.
pick.
It's Jerry's pick. Jerry's looking at defenses. He's looking at Kansas City, and he's looking at the Chargers. He's looking at both of them, and I'm like, all right, please go with Kansas City. And then I see him take the Chargers sticker off the paper, and I look at him. I'm like, oh, damn. And he goes, what? And I go, I was going to take the Chargers. And he goes, all right. And then he just puts the sticker one spot next on mine. And I'm like, fuck yeah. And I just walked away. And then he took wherever he took. I don't even know.
I
So,
don't remember.
but yeah, that was the story. It was really funny. But I got Harrison Butker, my kicker from last year. Really like him a lot.
So I think what that means is you bought Jerry breakfast to help
so he
sober him up.
repaid me back.
And he repaid you back with the
guess so.
Chargers defense. I feel like that's a fair trade.
He did something like that with Tommy too, and
Yeah.
Tommy gave him a picture of Caitlyn Jenner. It was something to do with when Jerry took Jake Butt. Tommy's.
Oh yeah.
He was gonna take someone else. Tommy's like, "Oh, you're taking my guy." He's like, "Should I take Jake Butt?" He's like, "Yeah." So he took Jake Butt and then gave Tommy whoever.
I don't understand how last year I got freaking pummeled in the ribs for like an hour. This year,
Jerry's a nice guy.
Tommy gives Jerry a picture of a transvestite, and now Jerry's just giving it all away.
Yeah.
He probably eBayed that though. It's worth some good a chunk of change though.
If it's worth any money, it's gone.
Alfred Morris, you guys know I've been kind of high on Alfred Morris in the preseason.
Terrible.
So I took him really early, and I'm just hoping that he's going to split some carries, and I'll be able
You
to
better
trade
hope
him.
you get him for the 2 to 4 weeks that he's worth it.
And then Geronimo Allison, I'm just hoping one of these Packers fans like Geronimo Allison that much that I could trade him.
I
So,
love that pick, honestly.
Other than that, I'm just really hoping one of those tight ends really blow up.
It's a solid B, Josh.
Throwing darts, boys. Throwing darts. Next up, we will talk Tom's team. It's always Sony in Fantasyland.
Hey, Jerry ruined my draft day dreams of getting Sony Michel, but I might have to change my name.
This is
You gotta change it.
another Jerry story. This is the best part. He's looking at running backs, and he's deciding between Sony Michel and Rashard Penny. And he's got both of them. And he goes, which one? I'm like, probably Sony Michel over Rashard Penny, because at least he might get carries from the get-go. And Penny, it looks like Carson is going to be the guy. He's like, yeah, you're right. And he fucking puts Penny up on the board. And I'm like, what?
He ended up getting both.
Yeah, he ended up getting both anyway, so it didn't really matter. But I was very confused.
This is the best Jerry we've ever seen.
I know.
Drunk, barely able to enunciate words, Jerry. My new favorite Jerry.
Moving on to Tom's team, quarterback Andrew Luck, running backs Dalvin Cook and Joe Mixon, wide receivers Ty Hilton, Golden Tate, Demaryius Thomas, tight end Zach Ertz, flex Marshawn Lynch, defense Ravens, kicker Matt Prater, on the bench Bobby Anderson, Broncos defense Aaron Jones, another guy who was taken right before me, Marlon Mack, Dak Prescott, Jamal Williams, Chris Godwin, another guy, Albert Wilson, Darius Geis. A very curious pick on that one.
So, Tom, I don't hate your team by any means. I'm very surprised by it, in all honesty. This team very well could go out there and be dominant. But this is the team that's filled with, like, you've left this team up the most to chance and uncertainty that you have.
So
pretty
boomer
much
bust.
any previous, not necessarily, I don't even want to say boomer bust because I don't think that's fair. It's just more of there's a lot of unknown there. Andrew Luck off of arm surgery, Dalvin Cook off of knee surgery, Joe Mixon getting the full haul. Eugene's only good if Andrew Luck is there. Demaryius Thomas, can he play with Casey? Like, there's Zach Ertz, is he still the guy? There's so much like yes, if it all goes well, Tom's got a chance to compete for the title. But just very different than what I'm used to coming from Tom's team. Very different, and I think that's a fair assessment. Different than you've drafted previously.
Agreed. You got anything?
Not really.
No.
Double A-Ron, Marlon Mack, Dak is a steal. I was hoping people would forget about him. Chris Godwin, I like a lot. Albert Wilson, why'd you go with Geis? What was the thought process there? I know it's
I'm gonna keep him next year.
No, you're not.
Why the fuck wouldn't I?
Keep 3 running backs, boy.
I
hope you do. I hope you do.
I would keep Darius Geis in a freaking heartbeat. Just like if Dalvin Cook didn't play it down this year, I would have kept him still. He's going to be the lead dog. Darius Geis is going to be the lead dog in Washington next year. And I don't know. I completely disagree with your boomer bust. Golden Tate's one of the most consistent wide receivers.
I didn't say boomer bust.
I did.
He said boomer bust.
I don't.
And
like,
when I brought it up,
I
didn't mention Golden Tate.
I don't like Demaryius Thomas. I'm not a fan of his.
He's been a top 15 consistent wide receiver the last 4 years.
Last year was his lowest year in.
Who's his quarterback?
I agree.
Yeah, I think Zach Ertz was the most consistent tight end last year.
I agree. I called all that out. I'm not bashing you at all.
I'm just saying that's where I was coming from. I drafted different this year.
You did. That's why I said I don't hate it. I'm more surprised. If this was my team, I'd be like, hey, I'm pumped for my team. But since you draft, it's a totally different look from what I'm used to from you.
Moving on to the second to last team, Tim's team. Probably the team I hate most out of all the teams. Quarterback Kirk Cousins, running back David Johnson.
Whoa.
What?
First off, I finally changed my name.
I didn't even look. What was it? I didn't even look.
I didn't know what that
Boo Boo
picture
Titty
is.
Fuck.
So, I changed my name to Boo Boo Titty Fuck, like the hat that Tommy got me. And then I didn't know what to make my picture, so I literally Googled Boo Boo Titty Fuck. And as you could guess, those pictures were pretty inappropriate.
Yeah.
So I just saw this, and the same thing as Tom. I'm like, I don't know what this is. So I just posted it.
Looks like a penguin.
No, so you look at it closely. It's actually a female lion getting titty fucked by, I don't know what the other animal is on the other side.
Penguin.
I don't know how ESPN allows it, in all honesty, but there you go.
Kirk Cousins, David Johnson, Devonta Freeman, Amari Cooper, Marquise Goodwin, Cooper Kupp, Travis Kelce, Lamar Miller, Eagles defense, Matt Bryant on the bench, Jay Ajayi, Kalen Ballage, John Brown, Ted Ginn Jr., Lil Powell, Julian Edelman, Anthony Miller, Greg Olsen.
I like this team, Tim. Kind of crazy the difference of a couple weeks can make from where your keepers were set to where they went now. You kind of loaded up on draft picks, and I think it was a smart decision. Your running backs, David Johnson,
Smart
Devonta Freeman.
decision, but not great execution.
I think Tim did a good job.
Mediocre at best.
I like his number 1, number 2 running backs, even though you should bench Devonta Freeman this week. He's never had over 38 rushing yards week 1 of an NFL season, playing a very terrific Philadelphia Eagles defense. So you should bench him. You're not going to, and that's going to cost you the week. Your receivers, they're okay. I'm one of the biggest Amari Cooper fanboys out there. But
I'm loaded with twos.
But, yeah, probably. Hopefully. I think that's the best case for you. Cooper, definitely not our wide receiver 1. Goodwin, he's got a chance to be the guy, but in my eyes, he's a poor man's T.Y. Hilton. And then you got Cooper Kupp, who I absolutely love. Kind of gave you a gift basket there with him, Tim.
Dude, that's not...
Travis Kelce, absolutely love him. That was my main guy in round 4. Had to settle with Zach Ertz, which I'm okay with.
It's like me and you last year, Josh.
You got a good value with Jay Ajayi. Love Anthony Miller. Julian Edelman's good value.
I don't care what any of you
Shut
say.
up. John Brown makes no sense. Ted Ginn's stupid. You're not going to start him. Greg Olsen, you make fun of him for his brother dying or whatever the fuck happened with him. Don't think he's fantasy viable, but you still draft him. Don't get that.
I want to start by saying I thought my Lamar Miller pick from the state that I got him is for what he is on my team was one of my favorite picks. I hate him very much, but he's a running back too.
Yeah,
he would be running back too on a bunch of teams in this league. So that was probably one of my favorite picks. Also, you mentioned whatever. I still have Julian Edelman there, waiting to come off his suspension. I was also a huge fan of that pickup for myself. So if I'm gonna stroke my, why did you trade me the rights for Cooper Kupp? Why? I still like that. I thought about it back to draft day. I don't get why you did that. It had nothing for you.
Because he wasn't the guy I was targeting, and I knew I could move back, and I got better value.
Fair enough.
I think I ended up getting Robbie Anderson from the second pick, something like that. But I think I used that to get Luck, something along those lines, and I still got Robbie Anderson.
Fair enough.
Last team we're going to discuss, Jerry's team. Sorry, Jerry, we had to push it to the end. Had a lot of stuff going on, so
Save the best for last.
best for last. Jerry's team: Deshaun Watson, starting running backs: LeGarrette Blount and Rashad Penny, wide receivers: Adam Thielen, Brandon Cooks, and Will Fuller. Tight end: Tyler Eifert. Just an FYI, they said Tyler Eifert's not going to play 50 to 60% of the snaps. Wide receiver flex: Christian Kirk. I kind of like that pick in the flex. Again, huge taking a chance, though. I'd rather have him as like my third bench guy. But the way this team shakes out. Defense, the Bears. I like that even before the Khalil Mack trade, so I like that a lot. And kicker, Justin Tucker. Defense, 49ers, Eric Ebron, Austin Eckler, Zay Jones, Sony Michel, Terrell Pryor, Antonio Gates, and Curtis Samuel.
There's just...
I have no idea where to start.
I know. I mean, Jerry's the only team. I think the most we've seen elsewhere is 2, like, questionables, like, out there. Because now, like, everyone's healthy. Like, it's officially been announced. Everyone's healthy. Jerry still has 4 questionable and 1 doubtful guy on his roster. I don't... Listen, we expected it. Jerry's tanking for someone else's draft pick already next year. We know that. Jerry, I love you. I hope Rashad Penny blows up for you. I still hate the Deshaun Watson keep. You just have a lot of... Did he pick up Antonio Gates or did you draft him?
He picked him up.
Okay, good. You drafted Zay Jones, who tried to jump out of a window naked in the offseason. Like, there's just a lot. There's a lot here. I feel like I don't even know what to say. I really don't.
Blunt's probably going to go off for like 3 touchdowns week 1. It's like crazy shit's going to happen. I don't think Penny's going to play right away, but I think that pick, it'll pay off in the end. It might be a little too late for this team. I do like the Sony Michel pick. Obviously, it's my dude. I think Austin Eckler's got a chance to do some damage this year, but won't be consistent. Will be one of those typical scat backs that will be worth a start every 3 weeks. And didn't surprise me at all that Jerry ended up with Will Fuller. He'll probably blow up, and Jerry will probably have the biggest scoring output week 1. That's how this
story before with Jerry, right?
This is how this shit happens. I don't know. I understand the Bears upgrade their defense.
On
got
paper,
Khalil
this
Mack.
is the worst team.
Yo, by far.
Yeah, this is the worst.
Starting the Bears versus Pack, like, that's a terrible start. But it's probably gonna work out. Like,
they'll score 2 touchdowns. They'll still lose by 20, but they'll score 2 touchdowns. I just hope for Jerry's sake. The best thing for Jerry's sake and for the league's sake is for Rashad Penny and Sony Michel to blow up, become premium running backs. Like, if they both become like valuable running back 2s, like, Jerry's team's different then. His keepers are different going into next year. I mean, I'm sure he still won't have any draft picks. He should then trade Deshaun Watson, but whatever. I hope for his sake both of those guys blow up just to make things more competitive going into next year.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to, we got a couple minutes left. We're going to pick some of the winners and the wild card teams through these divisions, just for the fact that we do now know teams. So, South Division, we have Momo, Jerry, and Wags. What are your guys' thoughts?
I'm going to stick with Wags. I think he's got the best running backs in the group with the best flex. I just like the team overall. I think he's got the highest upside. Kerryon Johnson eventually is going to be a starter for the Detroit Lions. Greg will have a opportunity to trade one of those 4 running backs for a stud receiver, which would help equal out and balance this team. I'm going to go with Greg.
I agree completely. I think before... Oh, no, I think I always had Wags. It's Wags. Just too much... his 3 running backs have more talent than Jerry's whole team. And Brett did a great job drafting, trying to build it up. I think by next year he will have built a competitive team as long as he plays his cards right. Maybe trades with Tom Brady for some draft picks or something this year. We'll see how that all plays out. But I agree completely. Drake's the nickel back of backs, not rap, douchebag.
Yeah, I think...
I forgot to tell you. What did Tommy say? Wags got a real job.
I think Brett is going to give Wags a run for his money, but I think Wags will come away the winner.
I agree with that.
The winner of this division will be whoever has the best in-season management and makes the most trades. Because I think the teams between Brett and Wags are a lot closer than we thought they would have been after the draft.
I agree. Moving to the West, we have Team Throat Pounders, which is Justin. Lee is my Puppet Master, which is Josh Schultz. And King Starfish, which is Tommy.
I'll start this one. Justin, I'm sorry. I have to finally move on. You're like my Thai transvestite girlfriend, where it's just time to move on from you. Josh Schultz is the club leader right now. After the draft, Josh Schultz has everything's in his hand. I see the way he's trying to some of the trade offers he's made me for something, just small little moves, but you can tell his brain's moving. He already sees his weaknesses, and I think Leah's doing a great job of keeping her man in check, and Leah's going to win the West.
I thought it would have been a lot closer after the draft. I thought these teams would have been more evenly matched and would have been harder to really gauge who I thought would win, but I think it's clear-cut Josh Schultz right now. Hopefully, he's got better luck. He's had good teams after the draft before, and it's kind of all fallen apart. And last year was his best team, and he traded 80% of it because he gave up on it, and then the team started firing on all cylinders. But Josh Schultz should have the best team in this division. We'll see what happens with Le'Veon Bell. That's going to be a big thing with this team.
It's sad to me that realistically, Justin could be I'll call him Jason now. Jason might be, because he's a former self. His former self. Jason could be the basement dweller of the West.
He could be. I would agree. I would go with the same team with Josh Schultz there. Going to the East, we have Tater King Kevin. It's always Sony in Fantasyland Tom, and Elvin, which is Mike.
I'm sticking with myself. They had the best team after the draft. Got the deepest team in my eyes, and I think I'm smarter than both these two jabronis in my division, and I care more. That's the biggest thing.
I'm glad that the trade not only helped me, but that firepower may have put at least one extra L on Tom's record, because at least Kevin can now compete with Tom. Maybe not for the division, but at least head to head they will. I agree. I know I was giving you shit prior, but I think it's a no-brainer. Tom's going to win that division. Kevin loses behind by about 2 games, and Mike is the basement dweller and competes with Jerry for the toilet seat.
Wow. I think Kevin's going to give Tom a run for his money, but again, I think paying attention and making moves is going to be the deciding factor, which I think Tom is obviously going to do more.
What I think will be interesting is, will we see a little bit different of a Kevin Long? We've never seen...
new style.
Well, I don't know about any of that. All I know is he rolled in here after our trade, and he was looking fresh. I said he looked like Braun Strowman's
stop banging on this
retarded son, and he did. My point is, will he make in-season moves, giving up draft picks for the following year for big-time players? That's what we've not seen Kevin do.
Yep.
If he does that for a big name, say I shit the bed completely, but David Johnson's still blowing up, is he going to be willing to trade me a first-round pick for David Johnson to push himself, to really push Tom? That's the Kevin we haven't seen yet.
That'll be a good question.
That's what I want from you, Kev. If you're close, make a move, son.
Moving on to the North, we have Thanos, myself, and Tim.
Ooh. Tom?
I'm going to stick with my preseason prediction.
Bullshit. Neither of us.
Alejandro! Whatever his last name is. Sedilla.
Not Armadillo. First off, props to Canos for bringing that delicious tequila.
That was wonderful.
Amazing. I've talked about it at length, so is Tomas Perez. Just looking at we have to play each other week 1 head to head. Just looking at it, it made me nervous. He should win. Canos should win, but it's at least close now. I think our matchup right now is like 119 to 0.9 to 119.3 or something like that. It's extremely, extremely close. I still, if I'm being honest, I like his team slightly more than I like mine. But if I'm able to do the right thing throughout the season, I still have full confidence in myself. I will come in first. Thanos will win a wild card spot, and Joshua Stevens will be sucking the toilet seat once again.
All right, I'm gonna pick myself because I have the best team out of all three of us. So, who gets the wild cards?
My 2 wild cards will be Tim, my first one, and Mr. Fourth is my second. We saw last year the West do this. This year's going to change and be the North. I think we're going to have down years from Justin. I think the other competition that we thought we were going to have Mike, I think that's out. I think Kevin, I don't think he's going to pay attention enough, is out. So I think that's what's going to happen.
It's a I didn't even realize that. That's a good point. I will say that the wild cards will be Josh as well, and Tommy.
I'm going to say Tommy and Brett Muhammad.
Without looking at predictions, do you guys know who the highest scoring team is supposed to be week 1?
I believe it's Tommy's, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Kind of shocking. Tommy, then me, and then Josh Schultz. The top 3.
Which is great because I played Tommy week 1. So let's go through matchups.
Let's go, Tommy!
Me versus Tommy. Who do you guys have?
Tommy.
Let me look at the actual matchup real quick. I'll do the upset. Josh is going to win.
I like some of my matchups. I got Phillip Rivers against Kansas City. I got Keenan Allen against Kansas City. Pairing those two up. Michael Thomas against Tampa Bay. They're going up against the 31st and 32nd ranked defense from last year.
Those are big.
Stick a fucking fork in them. Done.
Josh, you remember when you were in high school and you'd have a buddy be like, hey, listen, I'm dating this girl. She's kind of hot, and she has a friend. You can come with. And you get there, and the friend is kind of hot, and you see your friend, and she's like, well, she's not ugly, but she's not hot. You're that girl. You're the ugly but not hot girl. Tommy's team is the hot girl. They're going to win. They beat you by 15.
Oh, my Lord. All right, moving on. Tater King versus Mike. Kevin versus Mike. Right now, projections are pretty close. Who do you guys have?
Yeah, the projections are a lot closer than I think they should be. Really, I think Green Bay is going to struggle against that Bears team. I really think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a down game. I think it's going to be more of a defensive struggle than people want to admit right now. I'm gonna give the win to Kevin. Kevin's going to win. Aaron Rodgers will put up under 20 fantasy points and pretty much cause Mike to lose.
This week in this game will be a Tim's wet dream. Antonio Brown blows up, gets 30-plus points. The rest of Kevin's team holds on. They score about $140. Mike's team, after losing to the Bears and Aaron Rodgers having 3 interceptions, scores under 70 points. Mike loses by almost 70 combined, cries, considers how terrible his fantasy life is and that he should have listened. 142-68. Kevin wins.
The one thing Kevin needs to do, get another defense. I know you drafted the Texans. A lot of people don't like having 2 defenses. You don't start defenses against the Patriots. You don't do it.
Fact.
Get someone else, but I doubt Kevin does that.
Tom versus Brett Muhammad. I'm going to go with Tom. Project the total 122 versus 115.
Brett's team's supposed to score a lot of points. I think this is the 5th most in the league. That's pretty good. I like Brett's matchups. I think Royce Freeman against Seattle is a freaking amazing matchup, in all honesty. I think Denver's going to get up on Seattle early and run him into the ground in this matchup. I think I'm going to win, though. Hopefully beat the shit out of Brett Muhammad and get off to a good start. That hasn't happened a lot in this league.
If not for my game, I would consider this for the game of the week. I think it's very interesting. Just listen, who does Tom? The Colts don't play the Patriots week 1, but Tom plays Tom Brady. Tom plays his boy week 1. This is very, very interesting. Can't wait. Very excited. 2 running backs. Is Brett's team for real? Is it fake? What will happen? I love this game.
Tim versus Thanos.
Oh.
Woo! This might be my matchup of the week, in all honesty. I think
Should be.
Thanos is supposed to score 19.9. Tim's supposed to score 19.1. So obviously ESPN, the computers think this matchup is close, and it absolutely should be. He should be benching Devontae Freeman. A lot easier said than done. I don't know if I'd have the balls to do that, but you look at the history. He has not been able to find a lot of success running the football week 1. I'm going to give the edge to Thanos, and I think Tim's going to know it's over early on Thursday when Julio drops a 240 and 3 tutties against the Eagles, saying hello to the Super Bowl champs.
If that does happen, yes, there's a very good chance that I'll know that it's over. I'm hoping that I come out of Thursday still thinking that there's a chance. In all honesty, I hate having someone. Listen, ESPN recommended I play Jay Ajayi as well. Not going to do that. I don't like having 3 people on Thursday night games. Doesn't matter if it's the first game of the year or the last game of the year. I hate Thursday night football in terms of fantasy purposes. Hate it.
You have the best one, though. This is week 1. They're not going to be tired, beat up.
Everyone's fired up a bit. And I like the fact that I got the running back on the hungrier team, so to speak. They get in the red zone. Devontae Freeman has a good shot to get a touchdown.
Yeah.
He gets out of there with a touchdown. I don't care if he has 30 yards. Got a touchdown? I don't care. Happy start for me. And I just hope Julio catches nothing. Hope he gets injured the very first play, and Calvin Ridley's the new guy in Atlanta.
I'm going with Thanos. Moving on, we have Wags versus Jerry.
Wags by 100.
Jerry's projected for 91 points.
No way.
Which is fantastic. All of Jerry guys are projected to play, and he's projected 91 points. Jerry's gonna win. It makes no freaking sense. But this is what happens in this league. LeGarrette Blount 2 touchdowns. Will Fuller 2 touchdowns. Tyler Eifert plays 10 snaps and gets 3 touchdowns against that shitty Colts defense. And the Bears somehow shut down the Packers.
Got a
Jerry's
minute
gonna
left.
win.
Minute left. Last matchup. Justin versus Josh.
Josh Schultz wins.
Yeah, this gets ugly. Josh Schultz and Leah take home the victory. And it's going to be an ugly season for Justin.
Sorry, Justin. RP, brother. Love you.
Worst draft pick of our draft.
Jake
Butt.
Best draft pick on value, where they got him.
Oh, God.
Can you remember?
I don't remember.
There's not enough time to consider these options.
Off the top of my head, Cam Newton in the 9th. That's fantastic value.
Greg Olsen in the 8th.
All right, that's all we have for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Peace.